If you hold a Western passport, the idea of going to Russia without a visa may seem far-fetched. However, Russia has been opening up to a number of new countries in recent years, and today I'm going to share with you which second citizenships will get you into Russia and why that could matter. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. This is Nomad Capitalist. We're the channel and the company that helps 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. Now, why is a passport that has visa-free access to Russia important, at least to some of our viewers? Well, number one, you might simply like the idea of spending time in Russia as part of your trifecta. It's an entirely different way of living. In some ways, there are more freedom, certainly not in all ways, but it's a very interesting place to spend part of your time, certainly socially, especially if people who are single tell me they love going to Russia. And also I think a passport that has visa-free access to Russia is interesting for Western citizens to complement the passport you already have. Seeing that most Western countries are somewhat at odds with Russia, having a country that's not at odds and has been opened up in relations with Russia is actually not a bad thing as part of your portfolio. And so I want to go through a number of passports that you can get. Russia is a little bit easier to get into visa-free in terms of the number of passports available than China is. The one that's probably the most difficult but offers the highest level of access is Belarus. Not a lot of ways to get this. They have a residence program, dual citizenship restricted for most people. They do have a descent program. Most of us are not going to become Belarusian, but that would give you this indefinite access, basically the same level of access in many ways as if you are Russian. Let's go to the next level, which is 90 days. Now, what happened in, I believe, the beginning of 2021 was Russia opened up to part of the West, to the European Union, and said, listen, let's make things a little bit easier for each other. We're going to open up an e-visa regime, so if you're an EU citizen, you can go and apply for an e-visa. Turkey also has the same. So Turkey has a citizenship by investment program, as does Malta in the EU. Obviously, you've got other golden visa programs like Portugal. You could work towards EU citizenship. If you have an EU or Turkish citizenship, you're now part of the e-visa program. You can apply online, although it's been shut down for part of the pandemic. That, in theory, could work in normal circumstances. What's also been interesting is how Russia has built up relations with the Caribbean citizenship by investment countries. All of the 5, except for St. Lucia, so 4 of the 5, Antigua, St. Kitts, Dominican, and Grenada, now offer visa-free travel, I believe all at the 90-day level, to Russia. You just show up. Same in Vanuatu in the South Pacific. We don't talk about Vanuatu as much for a number of reasons, but basically 5 of these 6 kind of donation-based citizenship by investment programs offer it, and then again, Turkey offers it through the e-visa. Also, Armenia, if you are a citizen, if you have descent, you can become a citizen by descent in Armenia. That's 90 days. Now, some of the opposition party has talked about, let's not let these Armenians in, let's not let these, Kazakhs in, or the Turkmenis or what have you. I don't think that those people are going to be in power anytime soon. So I think that as an Armenian, you'll be able to get in pretty easily. On the investment front, I think Russia has definitely been currying favor and wanting Russians to go and invest in some of the Caribbean countries. And so that's been a very interesting and easy way to get in. What's also interesting about Russia is they have a pretty good relationship with most of the Central and South American countries. So you've got Brazil, you've got Chile, which is interesting in that it's one of the only passports that has access to both the United States and Russia. You've got Colombia, which even before getting access to the Schengen area in Europe had access to Russia. You've got Costa Rica, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Uruguay. Central and South America is one of the easier places in the world to immigrate to. Now, none of these passports just jump off at you like a citizenship by investment. You're not going to get them in 6 months. However, theoretically, Colombia, you could get citizenship without a lot of physical presence through the investor visa program. Costa Rica and countries like that, Uruguay, offer relatively tax-friendly living. If you're willing to put in the time to live somewhere, those are passports you can get. So what's interesting is while the US and Canada, the UK and Australia have basically been shut down by Russia, the visas are expensive to get, they can be complicated to get. I've been at the Russian embassy watching people, try and get their visas. I mean, it's difficult. And they don't really try to make the process easier for you. So, while those Western countries are generally shut out, Central and South America, especially countries like Nicaragua, for example, where I have a number of people moving right now because it is pretty free and pretty wide open. That's a country that Russia's had a very good relationship. Now, obviously Venezuela as well, probably not a place where you want to get a passport, but Central and South America, as well as the Caribbean citizenship by investment programs, have been very good for getting into Russia. That's the 90-day level. Let's go down to the 60-day level. Cape Verde off the coast of West Africa. Historically had a citizenship by investment program, has now a largely unworkable alternative citizenship program that you could look at. So if you're looking at making investments in Cape Verde, that could be a pathway for you. The Dominican Republic, all the claims of getting passports quickly generally don't work. Takes a lot longer than promised. But if you want to live in the DR, if you want to work towards citizenship, it can be done. I know people who have done it. You can use that passport to get into Russia. What's also interesting is, as bad of a passport as the DR has, you can actually use it to go to Japan. And I knew someone who used it there in Japan as well. Mauritius has a program that, in theory, if you spend the greater part of 2 years in the country, make a mid-six-figure investment in a villa or some kind of property in a resort area, you can work your way towards citizenship, great citizenship in terms of access to China, to the UK, to Europe, and also to Russia. So it's very unique. I think one of only 4 countries that have access to all those different regions. South Korea, know a guy who naturalized in South Korea through his spouse. Alternatively, South Korea has a permanent residence program, or at least a temporary residence that leads to permanent residence, where you could become theoretically a Korean citizen if you learn Korean. I mean, it's like thousands of hours of classes. If you renounce your other citizenships, probably not a popular option, but I have known some people to do it. I've also known some people who qualified for Korean citizenship by descent. If you have that, you can go to Russia nearby. And then you look at the 30-day options, most of the Balkans. So you've got Serbia, for example, you could attain through residence. Montenegro is wrapping up in 2021 its citizenship by investment program. North Macedonia now has a kind of an odd citizenship by investment program. Those countries in the Balkans have historically had access to Russia. Macedonia was always on a little bit less favorable terms, but Montenegro, for example, has been a good one. I believe Bosnia as well. So they've been pretty open to Russia as well. They're only 30 days. That may be enough. So if you're looking to go to Russia, again, it may not just be about going to Russia. It may be just, hey, I've got a passport that's a little bit different than the Western passport I already have. It's got a little bit different allegiances, a little bit different access. And I think that Russia's a place that's worth exploring. There's a lot of passports out there that you can obtain either by living in a country or by making a donation or by investing in real estate. You can get these citizenships that we're talking about. Which one do you like the best? Leave a comment below. I want to know which Russia-friendly, which Russia visa-free travel passport appeals most to you. Don't stop now. We've got well over 1,000 more videos here on YouTube for you to watch and learn how to go where you're treated best. And if you want to work with Nomad Capitalist personally, go to nomadcapitalist.com/apply, learn about our unique, tried and true process, garnered over years of experience, and learn how you can become our client.